Hello, and welcome to another game development broadcast for Project CSK. This is going to be another development broadcast that we're going to be doing for the project that I've been working on for quite some time now. And something that I did mention briefly in a previous broadcast and also on the Dev Journal post that I made recently, not too long ago, is that I want to do some casual gameplay sessions once in a while. So the first one's going to be coming up on July. Sorry, I totally forgot the date. It's going to be coming up on July the 26th at about 6:30 p.m. So 18:30 to 20:30. So 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're interested, by all means, jump online. We'll be playing with the classic client. And then eventually, when this new client is ready, we'll start playing with the new client as well. But for right now, still going to be playing with the classic client. And it's still quite fun to play. I really enjoy playing it. And it's got a very nostalgic feel to it at this point, knowing that it was made so long ago. And it brings back a lot of good memories playing online with players, especially the players that have been around for quite some time and are regular members of the community. So anyway, what we're going to be doing, though, is we're going to continue more or less where I last left things off in the last broadcast. In between, of course, there was some time for me to work on the project. I made a dev journal update, and there was some other stuff. And I think I came across a couple of challenges that I'm not sure yet how I'm going to solve. But and then I kind of got pulled away from the project. So I don't really remember where I last left things off. So we'll just jump into it, have a look at it, and see where things are and where I need to pick up from and get myself oriented. And then we'll continue right from that point. So for those of you that are here, that are joining right now, and for those of you that will be watching later on YouTube, hello, and welcome to the broadcast. If you have any questions or if there's anything that you want to ask, feel free to drop it in the chat, and I'll reply as best as I can. But what I'd like to do is get started on this and see what we can do. So I'm just going to hide that for now. All right, so first thing, let's run it and see where it's at. Where did I leave things off in the last development session that I was working on? I know I was working on some stuff and then I got pulled away to other stuff, so I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm not really sure where I last left things off. I don't see any errors, so that's good. It's definitely a good thing. Let's log into the game room, though. Okay, so I do need to disable or hide the models. I did get the guild icons working recently as well, so that's good. Okay, we do need to see the ready, set, go. That's something I'll need to work on. So let's see. I'm playing, of course, right now with the Flash client, just because the Unity one still needs some work. Okay, so the animations work well, so that's good. Okay, the explosion itself doesn't have a visual effect yet, but we'll get to that. The destroyed block also doesn't have a break effect, which we'll get to that. It's supposed to break when it's blown up. Okay, so we'll get to that. And then, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So there's some UI stuff that we need to do. We need to do the model. We need to do the explosion. We need to show the round timer. We need to do a bunch of things. So where do we start? That's a good question. Where do we start? What I'm thinking is probably... I'm not really sure, but I want to take a closer look at some of these pickup items. They seem to be a little bit, I don't know, they seem a little off. Whoops, and of course I walk off the stage because I forgot which client I was controlling. Okay, so I want to see why the shield one specifically looks off. It looks off center, right? And I'm not sure why. So let's go have a look at the the sprite sheet, or our atlas, or whichever you want to call it. I did make a brief mention of it before, but the atlas is working. Oh, so it's off center. Okay. That would explain why it's showing up like that. How is it off center? I don't get it. It should have been centered when I exported it on an Aseprite. So where was it? Environment sprite sheet, environment. Okay, so this one was environment, but what about the pickup items? Okay, yeah. So I did accidentally not line it up properly. That's why it came out like that. So what I'll do is, because for sure I'm going to be exporting again at some time in the future, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fix that alignment now. So then in the future, next time I go and I export it, it's going to come out properly. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't center perfectly. Really? Okay, that's unfortunate. Let's see. That is... Okay, so in total, that's 32 in width. So that means at 16, can we get it to center? No. I don't think we can center it. Not on an even number. It's always going to favor one side or the other. Okay, so that's kind of unfortunate. Okay, so what I'll do then is I'll have to edit it in Unity. I don't want to save these changes. So in Unity, what we'll do is we can align it, because we can't center. That's not going to be a huge deal now that I think about it. It's just a matter of doing it correctly. So if it was like this, it should be centered, right? Or is it this? I think this is centered. Okay, let's try that. Uh-oh. Unity's gonna... Oh, okay, I thought it was gonna crash again. I wasn't sure. Unity's been crashing quite a bit lately. Since I switched over to 2022.1.6 F1, there's been a lot of Unity crashes. And I do mean a lot. So if you're one of the people switching over to the new Unity client or new Unity IDE, just be mindful of that. I think it's a bit more stable in the... or they've addressed some of the instability in the new version, the 7F1, which I haven't yet downloaded. But, I mean, I'm not too concerned about that right now. Okay, so let's wait for the next round to start. I really do need to add that round ready, set, go thing. It does make a big difference, and I don't think it's going to be that difficult to add. So maybe I'll do that next. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we need to... find a shield power up. So let's destroy some blocks. I just want to make sure that it's horizontally centered inside of the bubble that it's in. Nope, I'm just not getting any luck with that power up. Okay, I'll get it eventually. Just maybe not yet. Still no. Wow. No shields. Okay. Still no. Okay, we'll wait for the 2 o'clock or the 2. There we go. So there's some shields. Okay, so let's have a look at that and see, are they now centered? It looks centered to me. Yeah, that's centered now. That looks better to me. Yeah, that looks way better. Sir Dies-a-Lot, hello and welcome. Long time no see. Long time no see indeed. How have you been? Welcome to the broadcast. Hope you're doing well. It's a bit of a toasty day today. I'm good. I'm good. I'm definitely doing well, and I've made some great progress on the project, as you can see. And eventually, not too long from now, it will be playable. It looks fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Still working on it, but it's starting to really take shape. We definitely got that whole 2.5D thing for the most part figured out, and using a texture atlas, which I didn't even know you could do with the sprite atlas, use it like a texture atlas. Okay, so these things, these look good to me. It's a hard style to get right. I agree. It's really challenging. And there's some challenges that I still don't know how to solve yet for the 2.5D stuff, because I'm using, so what I did is, instead of billboarding them, so instead of tilting them so that they're always facing the camera, because that has its own unique set of challenges, I vertically scaled them to match the angle of perspective. So at the right angle of perspective, it looks correct. It's pixel accurate, but that has its own challenges. So, and billboarding, it was my initial first thing that I did, but when you billboard them, they bend backward, and if there's another object behind them, right, they can kind of cut into each other. It didn't look right. Because I'm using a mix of 3D and 2D. So the ground is 3D cubes, whereas the environment and the player characters, everything, are just quads. And there needs to be vertical height in the environment, right? So for right now, I mean, in the game rooms, I could get away with some stuff, but once we get into the world, there's going to be some challenges that I still need to figure out, but it's coming together pretty good. I got these nice little bouncy animations working just recently, and I did my my dev journal. So if you look at the pickup item, okay, that one didn't result in anything. Here's one. So it's got this nice little bouncy reveal with a particle effect, and I think it turned out pretty good. It's got this little bubbliness to it, so it's turning out well. I'm quite pleased with it. In my project, I replaced a vertex mesh grass that the physics with billboard that have preset animations. Oh, I see. Okay. So how are you doing your animations then? Are you just alternating between frames using some kind of script that kind of swaps the frame out in an atlas, or how are you doing it? Because I've been looking at a lot of solutions to find out different things that work, and what I needed was an atlas and that was, did you end up using an atlas? I'm curious. And are you using an atlas? If you are, how are you using it? Because my solution that I came up with, I couldn't find any good answers searching online. And every time you search for texture atlas, you either end up with some of the results in the Unity Asset Store, which are okay, but they don't exactly do what I need them to do, or you end up on the Sprite Atlas, which is generally known for being used for sprites and 2D assets, not necessarily used for just have them play out in a randomly generated rotation. Oh, okay, I see. I also added specific wind sound with each animation. Okay. I haven't gotten into sounds. It's something that I'll definitely be getting into. But so the way that I used it, I don't know if this is the way you use your atlas, but let me show you this. So what I did is I got my Unity Sprite Atlas, right? But then I take these sprites and I pull them, and then it's from the Sprite Atlas, and then I use them as textures, which I didn't know you could do. Nowhere did I find anywhere saying that you could do that, and I was surprised that I couldn't find anything. It's mostly just creating an illusion. Oh, I definitely like that word illusion, because that's basically an art of just making things appear in a certain way with a little bit of magic in the background to make it look and be it kind of displayed in a way that's appropriately accurate for the environment that it's going to be in. So yeah. Okay, so you're using them. Okay, so then you're probably using similar style as me then. We're porting our game to Switch and trying to get 60 FPS. Yeah, that's cool though that you're porting to a Switch. I've never even owned a Switch. I'm mostly a PC gamer. I'm considering getting a Steam Deck later on, but I'll be building to pretty much anything that Unity can export to, right? So my target platforms that I test on currently is Windows and Android, just because I have an Android device. Oh, it's a struggle since the world is huge. Is it a dynamically generated environment by any chance? Because that's another challenge that I'm going to have to come across, and I'm not sure how others approached it, because from my understanding, when you're using 3D objects and whatnot in a dynamic generated environment, Unity doesn't do occlusion culling for dynamic environments. It has to be pre-built. It can't be dynamic, which I was very surprised to find out about. So it's that was an interesting thing that I heard about that I'll need to look into a bit more later on and see what the solution's going to be. I used an additional culling algorithm that cuts out entire terrains based on coordinates. Okay. You wrote it yourself. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping I could avoid. It's because Unity has dynamic culling, as they call it, but it's poorly worded. It's dynamic culling, but it doesn't do culling, it's occlusion culling, but it doesn't do occlusion culling on a dynamically generated environment. I don't get that. Like, is that not an important thing for a lot of games out there that do dynamically generated environments, levels, all that kind of stuff? I thought that that would be something that would be obviously inherent to the engine, but apparently it's not. Unity will always be behind on a few things. Yeah, I agree with that. It will be. It's just some of the stuff I just found was, I don't know. It's kind of strange because I'm not that experienced with Unity, right? This is my first like real project that I'm doing, and it's a pretty big project, and that's why it's really good for learning for me. So I keep coming across these interesting challenges, let's just say, that I keep having to do workarounds for, that there just isn't real solutions. And when I search online, I kind of find a solution, but not always. You find like little bits and pieces, and then it's up to you to kind of bring it all together and make it work for your scenario. And I understand every project is unique, right? That's understandable, and I respect that. But there's certain things that I just don't understand because I don't know. I just thought it would be something that's generally a broad kind of functionality that you'd want to have. Like, for example, in a component, in a Unity component, the scroll view, let's see, you got a bunch of list items in the Unity scroll view. Cool, great, you can do that. One, it's not performant. Like, the performance is pretty bad once you add a bunch of items. Two, you can't scroll to selection and have that selection be within the viewable area of the viewport of that masked area in the scroll view component. So you have to write your own code. And I searched online, and I found people doing some pretty wild things in terms of solutions. They were going through the scroll bar, and they were normalizing the position and all this stuff. And initially, I copied and pasted the code from online. But then eventually, I realized that it just didn't work the way that you would think it would work, like logically speaking, right? So then I had to go in and come up with my own solution after spending some time and making this solution. I was like, wait, this is a really simple solution. Why is it not built in? Like, you're looking at like easily like 50 to 100 lines of code, and that's it, right? Like, it's really not even complex code. It's just a matter of figuring out some offsets and calculating them, and that was it. So that's another one of those things I was really surprised on. But regardless, though, I really do like Unity, and I've had a lot of fun working on this project and implementing the functionality. And I'm looking forward to adding a lot more really cool and neat stuff, and just kind of exploring and seeing what we can do in terms of functionality, and just kind of cool, fun, silly things that I can experiment with and learn from. The scene is sculpting at the moment. It's about 900,000 square units of measurement in Unity. That's a lot. Wait, my understanding was that once you go off, like even close to the 64,000, because of the float variable, you lose a lot of precision. So what are you using to help alleviate that? Are you using like, I'm guessing you're using like a grid system then. That would, I guess, make sense. And then have it be localized position within the grid system. That's cool though. I like those really huge explorable levels. They're fun, and I plan on doing that. Maybe not quite exactly 900,000 square units, but I definitely plan on later on, when I get to the dungeon system, is have dynamically generated dungeons, but it's not just on an even plane. It's going to be multi-layered, like multiple levels of elevation, should I say. And it'll be kind of like a maze where you kind of you and your team kind of find your way through it, solve puzzles, and defeat enemies and traps and all that kind of good stuff. Mix the grid system with the dynamic culling. Okay. I'm able to do that because the world is just a giant chasm. Okay, that's cool. Is your game by any chance, can I take a look at it? Do you have a link or something? Maybe it's on Steam and you're showing off some screenshots or something? I'm just genuinely interested what other people are working on when I get an opportunity to talk to someone. Because I don't, so in my day-to-day life, I don't really have anybody that's technical. The closest thing to someone technical would be people that I talk to once in a blue moon that know how to use a computer, because that's apparently becoming less and less common these days, with people being so used to using mobile devices that they forget the importance of a computer. So the people that are considered technical are the people who know how to use a computer. Take that how you will. The project is still very early on for our studio. Okay, no, that's cool. I respect that. That's cool. I got it. Just out of curiosity, though, what type of genre, how would you categorize the game or the game mechanics, if it's even categorizable? With textures and height mapping, okay, at the moment, along with the culling, I'm getting 600 frames per second RTX 3060. Yeah, that's 3060's definitely got some horsepower to do that. On a Switch, I can see there's definitely going to be some challenges. It's an action RPG. That's cool. Okay, so this looks like it's working well. I think what I'll do is we'll just move on to one of the other steps, one of the next things that I need to do. That's why we want to target 60 FPS. Okay, well, that's cool. But how does that work, though? Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you need to be registered with Nintendo as a developer for them to give you a dev kit, and then for you to be able to somehow enable Switch export from within Unity, right? I think that's how it works. The novel that it's based on, I wrote it, was officially finished a few hours ago. Oh, well, that's cool. So you got some creative story writing skills. Okay. 65,000 words, 190 pages. Oh, that would take me forever to write. I don't think I could do that. Not in a realistic time frame. Unless I'm allowed to copy and paste. Then yes, absolutely. We are registered with Nintendo. Okay. And we got the application approved a few days ago. Okay. That's cool. So then, are you also going to, since I'm assuming it's built in Unity, are you also going to be going cross-platform, like let's say Steam Deck, Android, iOS, and you know what I mean, whatever, you can pretty much export to? Is that kind of the idea, is just reach out to all the platforms? It's going to PC, Steam Deck, and Switch. Okay. No Android or iOS? Maybe PS5 if there's enough demand. Okay. Oh no. Don't crash. The controls use every button on a modern controller wouldn't work on a phone. You're definitely right, and I've come across the exact same kind of. Oh no, it's gonna crash, isn't it? Okay, so it's just constantly spitting out errors. Okay, so I'll need to close that and reopen it. So what I meant was to have it be have like it be kind of playable, but still require the user at their discretion to connect a controller to be able to play, right? Because then what you could do as an example is one of those telescopic controllers, you know, you slide it open, you put your phone in there, or you slide it open, the bigger ones, you could put a tablet in there. Or let's say you want to connect your phone with display out to a TV and then have a game controller, right, hooked up to it. So it kind of becomes like your gaming console. Or have it play like on an Android TV. Well, actually, those don't really have good hardware specs, but I think you get the idea though, right? So it would kind of be manageable on a touch screen, but not really. It's really be more meant for you connect your mouse and keyboard to it, or you connect a game controller to it, right? It's kind of more along the lines of what I meant. The combat is like a hybrid between a Souls-like and an MMO. It plays like Dark Souls, but you also have cooldown abilities, party members, classes, and managing enemy aggro. Oh, okay. So it is a it's a multiplayer game. What are you using for? I have so many questions. What are you using for the backend server as your socket server? Oh, it's single player. Okay. So you meant it's similar to. Okay, I got it. Okay, so let's hope this opens without giving me a million errors. Single player. The party members are AI controlled. Okay. All right, so don't give me a million errors, please. And you can swap which one you are playing as, even in combat, with the press of a button. I like that functionality. I think it makes for some interesting game mechanics too, because if your different party members have different abilities, you can alternate between them. Okay, so this is just... So this is what happens when I update it to the latest version of Unity. You see the error count, right? It's just going up, 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 and then it crashes at some point. Ever since so interesting thing, I updated from Unity 2021 point whatever because it was buggy, and I was hoping that they fixed some of those bugs in 2022 .1, and so I installed 2022.1. I updated my project to it, right? And then when I did that, Unity 2021 would no longer run. It was weird. So installing a new version of Unity broke the other version of Unity, and it would no longer work. So then I had to upgrade my project to Unity 2022. And this one, it crashes quite often. And then if you have more than one instance open, like here, you get some pretty strange results. So this one was the first one that I opened. This is the project I'm working on. This one is the other project that I have open, and look at these errors. All right, now it's giving me errors about collab services. I'm not using Unity collab services on this project. So, and then there's other crashes too. Like it would forget certain settings and just sometimes crash and ask me to report the bug. I don't get it. Depreciated middleware. Okay, so I'm going to ignore that. It's a bit annoying, but I'm going to ignore that. So you can have up to 3 characters in the party at a time. Each party member has unique cooldown abilities, and tanks are the only class that can block. All other classes can only dodge and parry. Okay, and also by doing heart-to-hearts, conversation between conversation between characters, you can pick on abilities that one character knows for another to learn. Oh, so you can learn abilities from another character, from one character to another is what you're saying. That's cool. That's interesting. I like it when your characters can talk to each other. It allows you to make some interesting story choices. Okay, this is bugging me, but still I need to just ignore it for now because I'm not going to go down that route right now. Okay, so what we're looking for then is we're looking for the ready, set, go. Okay, so what do we got here? Ready, set, go. We got this graphic. Okay, yeah, so this is what I want to bring in, is the ready, set, go into this project. So let's see if we can make that happen. They're usually pretty out of the way, so you find them by exploring the world. It allows for a lot more customization in your build. Okay, well, that's cool. Sounds good. I'm curious, this just came to mind. Have you played old school Baldur's Gate? That was one of those that kind of comes to mind when I think about exploration and party games where you can pick up new members and you have different alignments. Some people are good, some people are evil, and you can do some pretty nasty things in that game in terms of like being able to basically be very evil and go to town and just like pillage the town, and then you would have bounty hunters kind of come after you. It was pretty fun though. Okay. You can potentially have a tank that can only draw aggro and heal itself. Okay. You just have to use defense mechanics the whole time. Min-maxing will probably be optimal. Okay, so that sounds like interesting mechanics for a tank. But is that how you categorize them? Like you'd have like a tank, a healer, an archer, or a gunslinger, or are there like hybrid classes, I guess, for lack of a better term? Tank, healer, attackers are the classes. Okay. Well, support, not healer. Okay, yeah. So a support character. So buffs, healing, that kind of mechanics. Oh, the main character is a support class. That's interesting. Usually the main characters are the attacker in this case, I guess, or the offensive character, whichever category or subcategory they fall into. Transitional object. Okay. That was done for thematic purposes. He isn't gifted in any way, but will do his best to support his allies. Okay, well, that's good. The guy before the story was just a normal blue-collar worker with a wife and kid. Okay. Well, I mean, no better person to be the main guy, right? I mean, that's kind of, in a way, that's what we all want, is to have some kind of similarity or some commonalities with the hero, right? And to have a humble and simple origins is a good starting point. Okay, so I think this is ready for usage. Ready, set, go. And it should just work, hopefully. I still need to... Okay, so I need to bring that in, and I need to bring the sprites in. Oh. Sprites. He's a very flawed person. So he messes up, says he shouldn't at times, but his heart's in the right place. His existence is pretty much a statement against modern main characters. I wanted to write a character that some people would despise. Despise. That's an interesting choice for a word as your main character. I'm sure there's some legitimate reasons for that. Okay, so you have some character growth over the course of the story. That's good. Okay, so I need to add this to my atlas. I'll need to fix that up later, but for right now, I think it's okay. So even in the end of volume 1, in his internal monologue, he says he knows he doesn't deserve to be forgiven by his old girlfriends and family, but will do whatever he can to make the world a better place for them. Oh, okay. So maybe he wasn't such a nice guy. He wasn't exactly the average Joe, but in the end, he ends up making some good decisions, which is good, and finds his way. Oh no. Okay, there it is. Whew, I thought I forgot that. So it's a story about self-improvement, which we all like. While it has this fantasy RPG story, that's what his story is all about, the journey to better yourself and discover your purpose in the world. I like that. I think we could all use a little bit of that. Okay, so we have that prefab now. Now it's a matter of figuring out where it goes. Oh, I see. Okay. So we'll go to the game room scene. Okay. It should hopefully work. I wanted to bring some positivity in these times. Yeah, no, that's understandable. I think we could all use a little bit more positivity. I like the idea of, so with any story, personally, I like the idea of self growth, intellectual growth, understanding and finding oneself and one's purpose, like you mentioned, story-wise. I think we all relate to that in whether it's a fantasy game world or within the real world, because ultimately that's what we're all looking for, right? Is our purpose. meaning to this existence that we don't have answers for many, many, many questions that we have, and we face challenges on a day-to-day basis that sometimes there is no proper solution for, right? So to have that kind of growth, to have that kind of discoverability, inner discoverability, is something that's very relatable. And I think it's something we all do want. And it's something that I personally also put in the stuff that I make too, to some degree, of course, to varying degrees, should I say, within its own unique, specific characteristics, and tie-ins within the story and within the game universe. So I think we all like those kinds of things, and that, I think, can also be traced back to the very beginning. Like, you go back to even like Zelda, the original NES Zelda, with, you know, the awesome pixel art graphics. That's, in a way, it was about growth, right? And then the SNES version, of course, of Zelda: Link to the Past, that was also about discoverability and growth and finding your place and your strength, and of course saving the princess, but you're also saving the world in the process, right? And Link, in a way, like, I see him as someone who's kind of grows up as a kid, like we all do, but is a little bit of a brat, right? Growing up, so he's kind of a troublemaker. And then as he grows and as he matures, he becomes this champion, right? This champion of a person who's got a really good heart and just wants to, you know, do the right thing and save the world and you know, bring peace to the land. So I always like that kind of story. It's something that I think we all relate to. Oh, an interesting thing. Did you know that the inspiration of Zelda, so the original creator, his part of his inspiration for Zelda actually came from Peter Pan, the cartoon, the Walt Disney cartoon, which is why they dress kind of the same, Zelda and Peter Pan, those similarities. So I thought that was really interesting, because I also really liked Peter Pan as a kid growing up and watching the Disney movie. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that movie, and it's to this day, I think it's something that has a special place in all of our hearts and memories because of kind of what it is, and what it symbolically represents is that freedom, that discoverability, that creativity, that little bit of magic in the world. And you just have to believe. And as the MC explores the nations with the chasms, he slowly learns about the cultures and the truths behind the world. Okay. And both sides have messed up stuff they do. Both sides. Okay. So there's two main sides then, I'm going to assume. It's all about what the viewer values. Okay. So there's going to be some interesting decisions. Picking a side, maybe. Choosing the, I guess, whichever side is more appealing to you as an individual. That could definitely work. I keep going in here and I forget what I'm going to do. I need to... I don't think I need to set this layer. Okay, so I don't need to do that. I need to set this layer. Okay, so this should actually work. Let's test it out. There are two factions, the Allies and the Axis. Axis. Oh, okay. So Axis and Allies. Sounds familiar. What? Okay, there we go. All right, let's see. Does this work? Waiting for next round. And do we get ready, set, go? Nope. Wait. We did get it. I just didn't see it. Okay, something wasn't right there. Let's try that again. One side believing liberty is ideal path for everyone, one believing that the dictatorship is the best path for everyone. Okay. So there's going to be some interesting decision making there. Okay, so we have ready, set, go here, but not here. Oh, is it the position? Am I... Okay, I think I know what's going on. Ready, set, go. It needs to be forward more. Yeah, so we'll go with Z1. And then we'll go back to here. Okay. Rotation looks good. It should hopefully work. I think. We'll see. Next round will begin shortly, and no. I don't see it. I see it here, but I don't see it here. Why is that? Okay. Let's approach this differently. Ready, set, go. We'll enable test simulate on play. I show the dark side of both. Okay. Doing the most I can to reduce the bias. Okay. Like on dictatorship sides, people are sent to labor camps. On the liberty side, children are working in factories. Oh, that's kind of dark, actually. There we go. Okay, so I only saw ready. I didn't see set, go. Why is that? I should have seen all three. It's an imperfect world and neither side is clean. It's understandable. Even the main cast has their biases and issues. Well, no one's perfect, right? Even in a fictional story, it wouldn't make sense to have completely perfect characters. Okay, so in some scenarios, yes, but I mean, no, I don't want to update right now. Thank you very much. Okay, so why is this not playing properly in test mode? Oh, it only plays ready. Okay, that's why. That's fine. Okay, so I know it's working. Then if I log in, I should be able to get all of it. Let's try that. Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Definitely. Okay. Looks about right. Okay, so we have ready, set, go. Let's see, what's next? We need waiting for more players. Oh, okay, so I have a HUD. I completely forgot I have a HUD. Oh. Oh, I'm out of water. So even the main antagonist has his reasons behind his actions, and once they are learned, we won't see... he won't seem like such an evil guy anymore. Yeah, well, just someone forced to play the part for the sake of humanity. The Ouroboros is a very important symbol. Yeah, well, there's that old saying too, though, right? Is the good guy live long enough, you end up being the bad guy, right? So there's some truth to that, even in the real world, right? Okay, I'm just gonna grab water. I'll be right back. This person has lived since the dawn of humanity according to the text of the religion of the world and has guided humanity since the dawn of time. Interesting. I like the person already. Though I'm not sure, from personally speaking, I'm not sure if immortality is all that it's cut out to be. Because then if you're the only immortal and you get to live indefinitely, then life would almost have no meaning because death is what gives life meaning. And then you get to watch everything change. Nothing stays the same. No one would understand your level of intellect. That would be a unique set of challenges that only one individual would experience while no others can really relate. That would be rather unfortunate. And is the only character shown to be able to use magic naturally. Son of the founder, the god of the world? Okay. So I need to bring the HUD in somehow. We have a whole HUD that I need to bring in. So let's see what we can do. Okay, no errors yet, so that's a good thing. Usable items, we'll get to that in a second. Oh, okay, so there's really not much here. Okay. He does seem to speak in a more mumbled tone whenever he orders something bad to be done. And looks away when questioned. I'm guessing he doesn't like to be questioned. His whole plan to reunite the world literally is just to reduce the amount of deaths. If he didn't care, he could have done it on his own. Interesting. Okay, so next one, I guess, is to bring in the usable items. I don't know if I want to do that one just yet. It seems a bit more complex. I think I might save that for a bit later. Yeah, I think I'll save that one for later. So we'll do pick up items, displaying them later. What else can we do? What about the, yeah, let's do that one. So message next round will begin shortly. Okay, so I'll need to bring that one in as well. Okay, so we got our messages, and then what I'll do is I need to add that to the atlas. I could just add the whole directory, but I don't want to do that just yet because that directory has a lot of stuff I need to clear out first. So let's just manually add it for now. Atlas is getting bigger and bigger. So the plan is to divide the allied countries and force them to surrender. Even one of his goons said that killing the main character was the first kill order in a long time. Well, I guess those kinds of orders might make sense in a universe that is divided. There's always going to be an opposition. I think history's taught us that. You can't have good without evil, right? Okay, so let's see. Can I get this other message? Round will begin shortly. Let's see if I can grab that one without crashing anything. So that will also be in the HUD. Scripts, GUI, HUD. Okay, so this one is HUD. I should name it correctly. Okay, and then this should have a nested object called message. And we'll add a sprite render to that. And for our sprite, element 4. Okay, so that seems about right so far. We will need to link this. Okay. Let's see if that works. I think that the story with the gameplay will hopefully make a decent game. That's definitely possible. In my limited experience, and I do mean, oh, something already crashed. Something is not assigned. Oh, okay. So in my limited experience, it's like ideas are not necessarily unique. There's a lot of people with similar ideas. It's the execution of the idea, meaning what you as the individual bring to this idea, how you implement it, how you follow it through from the beginning to the middle to the end. That's what makes it unique. That's what makes it appealing. So I think that is really the secret to the success of projects, and that's also the failure of projects. So it's an interesting challenge, one that everyone, whether indie or AAA, face that same challenge equally. Is what makes the game an enjoyable experience? I don't have an answer for that. It's the same question I ask myself. But I know that it's you as the creator and the team members and the people that contribute to it. That's what makes it unique. That's what makes it interesting. Next round will begin shortly. Okay, so I do need to add that one, but the waiting for more players should come up now. No? Really? Then what was this whole message that I just did? It was next round will begin shortly. But it didn't do anything. Got to make sure it's nice and polished. Yep. This game is a huge leap for our studio, from corridors to open areas. Yeah, that polish is an interesting challenge, and it takes a long time to do. I know from experience that it's not easy. Oh, okay, so I made the same mistake again. So I keep making this mistake. So then what I'll do is I will take the HUD and just bump it forward. That way the other stuff does not need to be bumped forward. So everything in the HUD should be displayed. Well, I'm happy for you that you're working on a project that sounds like it's something that you're passionate and interested in working on. And I wish you good luck on your challenges. As we all know, there is... Wait, did we not get... Okay, I need to test this. We all know there's challenges along the way, right? It's something that is inevitable, but it's those challenges and how you overcome those challenges that makes the result, again, unique to you and your team and your project. Nope, it does not want to show. So I can see it here, but I don't see it here. I thought I pushed it forward enough for it to display, but maybe I didn't. Okay, maybe it's not working at all then. I don't know. Oh, it went back to really, okay. So if nope, that can remain 0. This is what I pushed forward. Okay, so that is pushed forward. Usable items, don't care. This should be working. Legacy code. Okay, that should fix it, I think. This game is a huge leap for our studio. Okay. From corridors to open areas, there's so many issues that can crop up in any game. Getting approved by Nintendo was a huge step. I'm sure it was, and congrats on that. We now can have our games down in directs. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, shown in directs. We're targeting our game for when they have a drought in big RPGs. That makes sense because I'm sure it's Nintendo, right? They're going to have a lot of RPGs and they're kind of known for it. There we go. I don't know if I like that position, but I thought it was in a different position. So if we move this up, I think that's where it's supposed to be. For now. Temporarily. Or we can move it to the... No, we can't move it to the bottom. PS5 has still sold under 20 million consoles. It seems like the 9th generation is a flop due to the shortages. Oh no. Only big studios can take advantage of consoles more powerful than the PS4 anyways. Yeah, I kind of agree with that because that's a lot of hardware. Do you really need that kind of advanced hardware? I would say most games, probably not. Some, yes, of course, but most probably not. And I know I'm aiming for rock bottom low hardware. Like my goal is to have this to be able to run on a mid-tier or possibly even a low-tier mobile device, like a cheap Android, basically. So that's my aim for hardware requirements. Just focus on making the story good, if applicable, and the game fun. Yep, I definitely agree with that. Absolutely. Okay, so we got that one prompt now working. I want to bring in some of the other prompts, just because they're relatively easy to bring in. Running a bit low on time for today, but still got time for some more stuff. And then we'll see how it goes. Okay, so what's next? We want to bring in, we can bring in time, or we can bring in waiting for more players. I think waiting for more players makes more sense. Bring them in one by one, I guess. Or actually, we could probably do all at the same time if they're all consistent. Yeah, actually, I wonder if we can. I'll probably break some stuff along the way, but I'm okay with that. Let's do that. Okay, so we want HUD. So we want you win, tie game, you lose, you're spectator, and waiting for more players. So all 5 of those at the same time. Let's see if we can do that. Just focus on making the game. Oh, just focus on making the story good, if applicable, and the game fun. That's what sticks with the players. Yeah, you just have to make sure graphics good enough. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Which isn't that bad if you have a good style going. Breath of the Wild doesn't use HD textures, nor do most Switch games. Oh, okay. So I wasn't aware of that. But they got their own little. I haven't actually played Breath of the Wild. I don't have a Nintendo Switch, but they have a really nice art style though to Breath of the Wild, and I really like their coloring and their textures that they use. I think it looks really good. I mean, of course, it's one of their flagship titles, but I think it's for good reason why a lot of people are inspired by games like that, is just because they're so well made. And it's something that will likely stand the test of time, similar to the other Zelda games. Okay, so you win, you lose, tie game, you're spectator, and round will begin shortly. Let's see if we can bring all of them at the same time. Nope, doesn't like that. Nope, doesn't like that either. Really? Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, I'll just go manual. Okay, so you win. You lose. Tie game. Spectator. Okay. So then each one of these has a message. Could probably just grab this one and duplicate it. Our game's art style is heavily influenced by Breath of the Wild. I wrote a program that can create textures in our style. That sounds interesting. I just have to input a photograph. It's like Breath of the Wild, just with more thin black lines around the color transitions. Okay. I used edge detection, a threshold between RGB values to generate those lines to simulate detail. Okay. That sounds interesting. So then what you're basically implying is that you're talking about a shader, right? You made your own custom shader to generate a specific style or end result that you wanted. It creates those cel-shaded blobs and generates the fine detail with the edges. Cool. I like it. Okay, so that one is correct. Lose. Tie game. Spectator. And last one. Waiting for more players. Okay. I still need to add the scripts. Right. I still need to add the scripts. So this one is you win. You lose. Okay, and then tie game. Spectator. And waiting for more players. Okay, so hopefully this works because I kind of just did all of them at the same time. I'm hoping they all work, but we'll find out. What happened to my music? Oh, it finished. Okay. People have complimented the graphics and performance, so I guess it worked out. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got your results that you're happy with. I gotta dip. Oh, you gotta go for the night. Your game looks awesome, by the way. See you around. Okay, well, have a great night and take care and good luck on your projects. Or project, should I say. Have a great night. All right, so let's see. Do these messages work? Hoping so. Okay. Next round will begin shortly. Okay, so that's good. Let's enable this so we can kind of see both. Okay, waiting for more players. That's correct. Ready, set, go. Okay. Okay, so this one will be you win, you lose. Okay. Stats is fine. I'm okay without stats for now. So that's you win. Waiting for more players. Looks good. Ready, set, and then go. Okay, so I'll need to defeat the player. Actually, I can do this too. Okay. Fall through the ground. Okay, so you lose, you win, and then we just need to get the tie one next, and then that means all of them are working. Unity is still spitting out errors. Like, look at this thing. Still, like, just non-stop. Just going and going and going. Okay, so this one we'll need to wait out the timer. And then once we do that, then I guess the next one is ammunition. Team changer, clock. Oh yeah, clock. Okay, so I need to bring the clock in as well. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so we'll just wait out the timer now. When the timer expires, we should see tie game. I have yet to do a build since I got to this point and do an Android build and see how it looks on my device, but hopefully the performance is not too bad. I know that I need to reduce the number of vertices on the Shadowcasters for these pickup objects, because they're just too much in terms of complexity. I need to, where's the Shadowcaster? There we go. So yeah, the Shadowcaster's got a bit too many faces when it doesn't need it. So I need to reduce that. I was thinking maybe a disk might have less faces and be simpler and easier to render. But right now, that's what the Shadowcaster is for every single one of these spheres. So that's a lot, including the player character. I think they use the same Shadowcaster. I mean, it's not that detailed, but I want to simplify it a bit more if I can, just because I don't know how well it will run on a mobile device. So that's something I need to be mindful of. And then, of course, for performance stuff, I'll be using the object pool system and everything. But I just really wanted to get it to this point. We should be running out of time. Yeah, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tie game. Perfect. Okay, so tie game is working as well. That means all of them are working. All of the ones I just added, should I say. So what we need to do next is we need the clock. And we need the clock. We need team changer. And we need the ammunition and usable items to complete the HUD for the game room in terms of just functionality. Of course, I want to be moving some stuff around and improve on the visual appearance of it later. But for right now, what I want to do is I want to just add functionality wise, bring this stuff in. I can make it look better at a later time. But for right now, I think it looks good. And then I need to address the character models. I need to address the collider, and I need to also prevent the user from doing this and being able to just fall right off the map. So I want to build out the environment similar to the Flash client. I want to just create the environment isn't synced. Only the game stage, the middle area of the stage, is synced because it's generated by the server. The environment surrounding that has been historically just generated by the client itself. It just creates a basically a layer of two, should I say, paddings worth of tiles on the outsides, or one or two layers to generate this. And then by doing that, it will also act as kind of a blockade to prevent the user from being able to walk right off of the stage. And then of course we'll need to do the KO animations and whatnot. So there's still quite a bit more, but by doing all of those, it does a lot of the groundwork for later, for when we get to the world part of it, because a lot of that functionality is shared, right? So that's why I'm really interested in getting the as much of the functionality into the game room, because the world shares a lot of that functionality, and it'll be something that will just significantly help when we get into the world. And there's definitely some things that I want to fix. But right now, I don't want to focus onto the little details. I want to just focus onto the main stuff, and get that stuff addressed. So then later, we can shift our focus to whatever is appropriately needed. So that looks pretty good. Tie game, okay. Waiting for more players. Ready, set, and go. Okay. Well, I'm definitely pleased with the results of what we got so far, and I'll be looking forward to continuing to work on the project. But I think that's going to be it for me today, though. I know it wasn't a very long broadcast, and I do apologize for that, but my time is rather limited in how much time I do have for these broadcasts. And I do enjoy doing these broadcasts, but on Tuesdays, I usually have less time. On Fridays, when I do the Friday broadcast, I usually have a bit more time for doing those broadcasts. So it's something that I try to put some good amount of time aside for. I did write the dev journal entry as well, if you're interested in just reading those dev journals to just see how the progress has been going for the project over the duration of its development life cycle. The dev journal is a great resource for that. You're welcome to join the Discord channel. Discord is more for just the players, and I've been trying to organize the players, and I'd like to get more gameplay sessions using the old Flash client until we're ready to move forward with this new client and have it be in a stable state where the players can use the new Unity cross-platform client for the game room. And help me out with the testing in the process, and we can do some benchmarks and play and have some laughs with it. And there's going to be some new functionality in here as well. Like there's going to be the emote system, the navigations is all different. There's a lot of things that are different. This natively supports gamepad support, touchscreen, as well as mouse and keyboard. So it's technically going to be playable on any device that it can export to. Pretty much anything that Unity can export to that meets the minimum system requirements. I haven't done proper benchmark testing, but I've tested this on my old tablet. Well, it's kind of old, but it's a low-end tablet. So it's one of those 2019 low-tier tablets, and that can play the game at a somewhat decent frame rate. So if that can play it, I would say that any modern mid-range and above mobile device should be able to play the game in the current state that it's at, which is not even optimized. So that's definitely a good thing in my opinion. So that's something that is a good thing. I mean, it's not that complex in terms of graphics and whatnot. It's just a matter of getting the frame rate up, because it is a very fast-paced game, and you can see the dips, right? You can see that it does dip periodically down to 31, but it does average 60, even though at the high end it's in the 70s, which I don't quite understand. But I think you end up getting a different result in the when you actually run the game instead of when it's run in this development environment. I think it does get significantly better results when it's an actual build and it's run on a device. It'll even visually look a little bit different, a little bit cleaner and more polished. Anyway, so that's going to be it for me today. If you're interested in knowing when the next broadcasts are going to be, that would be Friday. I do broadcasts on Tuesdays and on Fridays. I usually tweet on Twitter and Instagram right when I'm about to go live. So if you follow me on social media and if you hit that like button, that is how you can help me and help the project and spread the world spread the word, because it's going to be awesome when it's going to be playable. And it'll be fun, and I'll be looking forward to playing with you guys online and having some more good memories. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. So thank you for watching, and have a great evening. Bye.